Hey, this is Smooth with another video. This one is known as The Rusted Man and the Homeless Knife. Wait, no, that's not right. The Homeless Man and the Rusted Knife. Some quick things before I go over this video. The first one is these events in the video are events that happened to me. How they happened to me will most likely be explained by the end of the video. Number two is if I had an actual filming studio, I would have filmed the entire video, which I might do in the future. I'm going to film the entire video with someone playing as the homeless man, someone playing as the second character, someone playing as me. Number three is that we are going to go over the world of fire in this video and the beyond life to what happens after you die. And number four, this is an entire unrelated topic. I just wanted to say it for fun. If you ever heard that song by Marshmello and Anne Murray, one day called Friends, when they actually spell it out, they spell out F-R-I-N-D-S, which spells friends. I don't know if the N is an E-N, but it spells friends. I don't know if friends is a word, but they're bad at spelling. That's all I want to say. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this video. So, the very beginning of what happened in this story is I was in one of my temples, my religious temple, one of my Zoroastrian temples, of course, and then from there, I was going to the washroom. Like, this is later on. Like, I'm not gonna go over the beginning part because that has nothing to do with what happened next. That's just how I'm getting to this place. But I had to go to the washroom. So what happened was I was going to the washroom, which is like a staircase, and I don't know how this happened, but I somehow ended up in an abandoned, destroyed train station washroom. I was going down, like, it changed, like the staircase became, like, it became muddy. I don't know how I got there, it just happened to be. And then I went down, and it was a destroyed train station. That's all I gotta say. And I had to go to the washroom badly, but the washroom was still kind of working. And when I opened it, there was mud on the floor. There was blood smeared on the walls. There were 3 stalls. There was the first stall, which was being used by someone. Then there was the second stall, which was open, and there was the third stall, which was the handicap stall on the really right. And what I did was, I went to the handicap stall, but that was like, for some reason, that was really small. I couldn't really go into it. So I went to the second stall, and what happened was, while I was in that stall, I had to go to the washroom really badly, and there was a third person came into the thing. I didn't see who it was at first, but he came into the washroom in this abandoned, destroyed train station washroom. And what happened was he didn't, I think he was trying to go for one of the stalls, but then he decided not to, and he just went forward because there's a sink there and there's a mirror with, like, it was a muddy, you could barely see yourself in the mirror, but he went there, and I could hear the person in the stall next to me, they opened the door, and what happened was, I don't even understand how this happened, but when I first saw them, they were a person, they were a human, and they transformed into a dog. And they started running, and my mind was like encrypted with some next shit, because my mind started going to the mind of the dog, and I was able to see everything the dog could see when the dog ran out of that washroom. And technically, when the dog ran out, there is a staircase that goes downstairs to the actual subway station. I don't know what station it is. I don't know if it's a real station, but it went down, and the dog stopped at the staircase, and I could see everything the dog saw. It started barking. I wasn't the one barking, it was just the dog, because it was a different person. And what happened was, this dog could hear these monsters, or some sort of creatures in the subway station, the dark, abandoned. It was like bloody, there was mud on the ground, there were destroyed doors and tables at the really bottom. It was really dark, you couldn't really see much. And he started barking, right? And then I like did a telekinesis, telepathic power, that my mind, I could feel the voice of my mind going all the way across the washroom, down the stairs to where the dog was standing at the top, and it went into his head saying, don't go down there, don't bring the monsters up, and then the dog ran away. I don't know where the dog went, it just disappeared. I don't know if it turned back into a human, I have no clue. But I got out of the stall, and when I walked out, for some reason, the handicap stall that I said was there earlier on the right, it moved to the left. I don't know how. There was nothing there on the right anymore. And then I walked, and there were two sinks. One was a dirty sink, and the third person that walked into the stall, he was the homeless man, and he was wearing like a baggy, gray, dirty hat. He had a big mustache and beard, like gray brownish. I don't know the color really. It was kind of the color, if you watch Walking Dead, like the color Rick has, but maybe darker. or the color Negan has. I don't know if you watch Walking Dead, but that's the color. But he had a big beard, and he had a long hair that was going down. He had the hat on, and he had like a brown trench coat that was like wet and dirty. And then he had like those, those gloves like with the holes in them that I've seen a lot of some homeless people wear. And what he did was he had the knife. The knife was like this, but it was pointed towards his chest. It was a rusted knife. That's why the story is called The Homeless Man and the Rusted Knife, because it's mainly about this man. And what happened was there were two sinks. There was the dirty mirror with the mud and blood, and there was the dirty ass sink where the man was sitting. And on the left was a pure clean mirror, a clean sink, looked brand new and shiny. I don't know why it was brand new and shiny. It just happened to be like that. So for some reason, instead of using the sink on the left, I used the sink on the right where the homeless man was. And I said to the scout, like holding a knife, I'm like, excuse me, man. So then I start washing my hands, and I say, hey, what are you doing here? So this guy said it was obvious he was trying to kill himself from the way he looked, like what he was doing with the knife. And I said, why? And then he said, there's not much of a point. But I'm like, you need to wait for life to get better. No matter how bad life gets, at some point it's going to get better. So I explained to the man I was in a similar situation, but the difference between his situation and my situation was in his situation he didn't die. In my situation I did die. The situation I explained to him, the story I explained to him, I was at the point where like he wanted to kill himself. I died as that death, and then I told him I actually got reborn into the exact same life, relived all the exact same decisions in the same life, had no memory of my past life or how I died, and I ended up in the exact same spot because I couldn't remember. And the moment I ended up in the same spot where I was about to die, everything from my past life came back to life and it became real, and I remembered every single thing. And then I stopped it because I realized, I told him, if you do die, then you're going to end up doing you're not going to remember anything. You're going to end up to the exact same point where you want to do it again. And since it's a death by you and it's not like a natural death or maybe a murder, then it's gonna be you reliving the entire life again, and you won't remember anything until you're at that point. So then I said, so there's not much of a point of doing it. So he started letting go of the knife, and then I grabbed it from him. I grabbed the rusted knife from him, and I put it like on the sink. And then I don't know why, but the clean sink I said was on the left. That transformed into like some closet. I didn't see it anymore. I don't know if the closet was always there or if there. And then I explained to him, I said, see, this is what happens when you die. This is the beyond life. You know what people always say when they die, they say, I see a light, and then people say, don't go towards the light, stay towards the, wherever they are at the beginning, at the tunnel. Technically, when you die, there's a place called the world of fire. And the world of fire. And in my opinion, there's infinite universes, as most people do know, with infinite decisions, infinite possibility, and infinite lives. And the world of fire is an infinite world built between all the infinite universes. And when you die, the first place you go is to the world of fire, hence the shine of light. And then I explained to him how heaven and hell don't properly exist. It's not like the main place you go when you die. But God, angels, and the demon and devils, they exist. But what they do, the difference is that they probably live in this, like, they live in another world, and heaven's probably like their sanctuary of the world, like we have Earth, or aliens have their worlds. And the hell's probably where the demons and the devil live in their sanctuary of the world. And I explained that to this guy, and I explained that what the world of fire technically is the world of fire is a place where when you die and you're purely dead, your soul goes into the world of fire. And you get you walk around in your soul, and there are infinite creatures in this world of infinite possibilities, and what they do, they destroy you. They destroy your soul, and then you wake up as a new being in a new life. So I explained to him, you can wake up as any creature in your next life. It could be another person. It could be the same person with all these different decisions. It could be another person. It's why I always say, every time I look at someone, every time I see someone that I've never met before in my life, they look so familiar to me. I don't know why. But the thing is, when you die, you go to the world of fire, and you wake up as a new entity or a new being. You could be a human, you could be a cockroach, you could be an ant, you could be a bug, you could wake up as anything. and then you relive that life, or you live as every single person in the world. So technically, every creature, every bug, God, angels, demon, devils, humans, every single person is you. Except the only difference is they lived in a whole other version of a world. And you have you can relive your own life infinite times with infinite different possibilities, or you could relive infinite lives. So technically, every time you die, you just relive another life. That's what the world of fire technically is. So I explained it to him. I told him what the world of fire is, and the main thing to the story is that I'm trying to like explain the beyond life to him, what happened. I took him out of killing himself, and and then he was sitting in the closet, right? And then he looked at me, and he said, so if I die, I could turn into any creature. So I said, the life you have right now is probably one of the best lives you're gonna have, because you're a human, and they're one of the biggest creatures on the earth right now in this world. And if you could wake up as you could wake up as an ant. An ant, they have dangerous lives. You know, time and time people step on ants and they can die. But you can wake up as any creature and you could relive their life infinite times. So the life you have right now is amazing. And that's the explanation to what happens when you die. It's the beyond life to where you go. Or you could be a reaper. You could be the one that takes the souls to the world of fire. You could be a guardian. You could wake up as a god, and you could be God for infinite amount of years, because eventually everything dies, and when you die you get reborn. That's why a lot of people don't want to go to that process of life. So I explained all this to him, and this is how it ended. This is the last thing I remember. I was holding the rusted knife, and the homeless man jumped out of the closet, right? He jumped off whatever he was sitting on, like some next mop janitor thing. He jumped off and he grabbed the knife from me, and that's all I remember. I don't know if he attacked me with the knife. I don't know what he did to himself, but that's it. And oh wait, there was another part. There was a part in what happened was where when I explained the world of fire to him, he told me he was a scribe of God. He was a psychic, and what he did was he put his hand on my head, like right there, and he put his mind into my mind. He could see into my mind, and what he did was, in my mind, I had the world of fire. But what I did was I shut him out. Like, I was able to even though he was a psychic, I was able to shut him out of my mind, because my mind had power, right? And what happened was, when he went into my mind, when he got shut out, I could feel, like, I technically had an image of the world of fire, and I could feel it flattening. So whatever he did to my brain, he made it flatten. He made all my thoughts in my head flatten, so I couldn't think of anything at all. That's what he did to me. And he said he was a scribe of God, and I said, I'm more powerful than any scribe of God. I'm a prophet, right? So that's what I told him. I explained that to him. I explained how I know all these things. And what he did was, he tried to get into my mind, but I stopped him. And that was when I was explaining the world of fire. After that, that's when he grabbed the knife. That's why I don't remember anything that happened, what he did with the knife. To explain everything that happened in this story, the main thing is, most of this, this events actually happened to me, but the way they happened to me was different, because they happened to me in a dream, in a mind dream. And all the other stuff I said about the beyond life, that's like pure stuff. But the mind dream, when he went into my mind, like I went into the dog mind earlier, and he flattened my thoughts when I shut him out, what happened was, when I woke up that day, I could feel my thoughts being flattened. And I felt that it was a painful feeling, like it hurt. And I could feel that feeling I felt that feeling for 2 days straight. And this was a dream I had like 4 or 5 nights ago. And I want to explain the dream to what happened, because it's a massive story to who this man is. He said he was a scribe of God, and he read into my mind. I could feel him in my mind. And I was dreaming, so I was in my conscious mind. And I was able to think thoughts in my conscious is conscious. So technically, when you're alive, you can think thoughts. And then when you're dreaming, you're in your conscious, you're in the dream world. And then you think thoughts in there, so your thoughts are more advanced. So when I woke up, I had my mind flat, and I don't know what the hell he did to me. I don't know who he was. He said he was a scribe of God. And when he did that to me, his eyes, everything of his turned into like power. He turned into a powerful creature. And that's mainly the story of the homeless man and the rusted knife. Be sure to tune in for more videos coming out soon here on Ksmooth. But that's the story I want to tell you. And until next time, it's out. Oh, wait, there's one more thing, actually. I did write a book series based on the World of Fire. It's based on 5 major books. And I wanted to, before the end of my life, before the end of my next, as I want to say 400, wait, what year is it? 2018. 422 years, 422 years left on this earth. Before I say this, I wanted to say I have these 5 books. Like, I don't know if the 422 years is me still on earth, or if it's me still a spirit roaming in the same mind, past the beyond life, escaping the World of Fire. But all I want to say is I wrote 5 books based on the World of Fire, and I wanted to make them into movies to explain everything and explain how God was never the first creature amongst the universe. There came the Calvikians, which were the very first creatures, and before the Calvikians were the sorcerers. The sorcerers were the original beings of the universe. Before they had been disappeared. They disappeared at the very beginning of time, and no one's ever seen them since. And sooner they're gonna come. And if you want to know where the end of the universe is, those are the Gulaminks. Gulaminks are technically they're powerful creatures. If you ever see one, that means it's the end of the universe. They have bat wings, long bat wings. They have like an alligator face. They're able to fly, and they're all powerful. They're like powerful beings. Just like the World of Fire is filled with a creature family called the Amazonical family, which is the family of gods. Because they know if they live in the World of Fire, that means they've already lived every infinite life, every infinite universe. They know every infinite possibility. And what the story is based on is in the series they explain they found a way into the World of Fire, and they know what happens to the world, and this creature that lives in the World of Fire, that's lived the infinite universe, he escapes. Or she escapes. I don't know. Yeah, the creature could be it's anything, technically. And that's technically what the World of Fire series I've been writing, but I don't think I'm ever gonna finish writing the books, so I don't think the movie's ever gonna be released, so I just want to say it now. But that's been my story about the homeless man and the rusted knife, and the beyond life and the World of Fire. But until next time, we probably have more music coming out here on the channel, or more other videos. But until next time, I'll see you next time here in the Smooth, on Ksmooth, here on YouTube. We'll see you next time. Ow!